Good day, everybody. So, on the video today, I wanted to talk about the future of Ethiopia. I was recently asked by a viewer um, about my thoughts on the outlook of Ethiopia in terms of it surviving as a nation state. So, my view on Ethiopia is very complicated, given Ethiopia's the neighborhood in which Ethiopia resides. To the southeast, you have Somalia, which obviously everyone knows that Somalia is in great turmoil with a thriving Islamic insurgency. To the south is Kenya, who definitely would like to take an interest in Ethiopian politics, but probably not in a threatening way, more of a manipulating way. To the northwest, you have Sudan in South Sudan. Again, a nation state that has gone through tremendous upheaval and civil war, from South Sudan breaking away to the insurgencies that take place in the Darfur region. The Sudan is also a Islamic state, and within Ethiopia, 33% roughly of the population is Muslim. There are a great many ethnic groups in Ethiopia. Obviously, you have the largest, which is the Oromo, followed by Amhara, Tigrayans, and to a lesser extent, uh, the Sidama. So there is a great deal of balkanization. And what I mean by balkanization, we can harken back to what occurred in Yugoslavia and the breakup of the former Yugoslavia, where you had Serbians, Bosnian Muslims, Croatians, Montenegrins, uh, Muslim Albanians living in Kosovo, and what have you. Ethiopia is much bigger, 100 plus million people, probably between Eritrea and Tigray, uh, another 10 plus million at least Tigrayans. Um, so a very uh, heavy issue with a possible ethnic divide. Well, I don't want to say possible. There definitely is a ethnic divide in Ethiopia. The biggest issue right now, I believe, for Ethiopia, and I think the catalyst of a lot of the issues that have happened is Eritrea. And while much of the population of Eritrea is Tigrayan, the same as the Tigray province, as Eritrea, the the dictatorship that has existed in Eritrea has led to things you probably wouldn't normally see in other nation states. In the case with Eritrea, you quite literally have the same ethnic group that are fighting each other because it fits the body politic of Afwerki. He definitely doesn't want to see a Tigrayan power base on his border, which could lead to a possible revolutionary type activity inside of Eritrea. But that is going to happen. At some point, the regime in Eritrea is going to fall, much like the regime in Sudan fell. You're going to see the same thing happen with Eritrea. So then the question is what happens after that? Once Eritrea is no longer under the boot of a dictatorship, and then at that point the question is, do the Tigrayans in Eritrea and the Tigrayans in Tigray, are they able to form some sort of coalition? And I think right now you're seeing Afwerki attempting to crush any prospect of a internal Tigrayan power base that could threaten his regime and what he believes is the person who will take the reins of leadership in Eritrea after he passes, because he's about in his mid-70s right now, I believe. So he's not a youngster, so to speak. So again, because of the ethnic makeup of Ethiopia, I could foresee it becoming at some point a much looser confederation with not as a strong as a central federal government. It could go the other way. Ethnic nationalism could set in with one of the larger ethnic groups, which I think you're kind of seeing now. And that could lead to a protracted period of something that looks a lot like what Eritrea has been experiencing for the last 30 years. A ethnic-based dictatorship that is no longer a democracy. So that could happen. So that's one option. Again, you could see at some point, and I'm talking 20, 30, 40 years in the future, possibly an Eritrea that is united with the Tigray province. Now, the issue that could create is I firmly believe that Ethiopia is going to need a port access to the ocean. And whether that access comes from the east or the north, that's to be seen. But depending on the leadership that exists in Addis Ababa, that is something that I think will be looked at in the future. So again, an incredibly complicated country, and I haven't really addressed some of the external forces beyond Sudan and beyond Somalia and beyond Kenya. But you also have Saudi Arabia, you have elements in Yemen, you have the United Arab Emirates, who are all kind of looking at this area as being strategically important. You have Egypt also looking south as well and looking to control stuff. Again, both in Eritrea and Ethiopia, I think there is roughly a 30% Muslim population in terms of religion. And many of these greater states to the northeast, such as Saudi Arabia and Egypt, obviously are Islamic states or have the majority of their population are Muslims. And that could start to impact Ethiopia as well. So that would be something that happens outside of any sort of inter-ethnic conflict, but more of a religious type conflict. And that would probably occur much further in the future. But it's something that I think is definitely probable. But again, just an incredibly challenging neighborhood to exist in, with a history that has been very difficult.